Welcome to the Naples International Circuit at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. You can see in the background, we are getting ready for the finals here this afternoon of the first round of the 2015 CIK European Karting Championships. The KZ2 final is about to erupt on the track, 18 laps, 30 kilometres the distance. As you look at the Dutchman Marijn Kremers in the Birrell Art Cart, that is the scene here. A beautiful sunny day. Didn't quite reach 20 degrees, but the sun is shining. There's barely a breath of wind. Beautiful conditions at one of the most famous kart racing circuits in the world. You could be forgiven for thinking you are at the Mount Fuji Speedway, but no, this is Mount Vesuvius in the background. As you look at the former European champion Fabian Federer, we are here at Sarno, the circuit that was built in 1994. Last year hosted the World Championships, and this year the opening appointment of the 2015 European season. We are getting set to go racing for the first of our two finals this afternoon, the KZ2 category. That's the scene here at Pista Sarno, or the Naples International Circuit as it's known locally. A lot of eyes on this man from Milan, Alberto Cavalieri, drive of the day, drive of the year possibly thus far, in the gold cart that many don't consider a match for with respect. A lot of the top manufacturers, the likes of CRG, Birrell, Tony Kart, no. Alberto Cavalieri proved them all wrong. He's driving the gold cart GTR 30. He came from grid 16 to take pole position for the final here this afternoon. That's Andreas Fassberg on screen, the Danish Tony Kart pilot. The 3-minute board is about to go up. Welcome to wherever you are watching us all around the world for the opening appointment, the opening round of the 2015 European Championship season. We're only moments away from the first final of the year. Marijn Kremers, who we just saw a moment ago, many people have tipped this young kid from just outside Eindhoven in Holland as a title favourite for the 2015 championship. He lines up in the Birrell Art Cart. To the left of your screen, that's the pole sitter, Alberto Cavalieri in the gold cart. The Rigetti Rodolfi run team. The Tony Kart on the outside. Yes, we mentioned he came from grid 16 in the pre-final. Finished second to this man. Luca Corberi won the pre-final, but look, he starts out at grid number 6. Why is that? He was adjudged to have jumped the start. He was given a 5-second penalty, but that only puts him back 5 spots. He's out of grid number 6. He won the race in such fashion that he's still on the 3rd row of the grid. He was dominant in the heats yesterday. 6 foot tall is Luca. Doesn't affect the handling of his kart as we look at Federico Pezzola. He's been super impressive as well. But he's starting way back on the 14th row of the grid in the PCR kart. Great to see some manufacturers back at the top level of world karting. How about this team? Joel Johansson, the Energy Course team, of course, multi-winners of the European Championships. They've got a fantastic chassis when it comes to gearbox category racing. PCR are here, Maranello, Formula K. Dino are back in town with drivers competing in the European Championship for 2015. As you look at Enrico Bernardotto, Schuberth helmet for the Maranello kart pilot. The Italian starts on the 15th row of the grid. Thanks for joining us on CIKFIA.tv. We are just moments away from the start of the final. Most likely only one formation lap as the grid girls leave the circuit. Well, the World Endurance Championship might have decided to dispense with the grid girls, but we're delighted that they're still here on track prior to the start of the European and World Karting Championships for 2015. presented by the Commission Internazionale di Karting in association with WSK Promotion, official promoters of the European and World Championships for 2015. To the left of your screen there, number 335, Nicolas Gonzal, the Frenchman, with the Ayrton Senna replica helmet. He's in the Alpha kart. You just saw very briefly on screen Francesco Iacovacci. He starts on the back row of the grid, but he didn't have a good run through the heats. He scraped into the final. Yes, he's out of grid number 34, but he does have speed in that Danilo Rossi kart. Nicole Gonzal, who we just saw a moment ago. The karts will be pushed into life. One formation lap, they will stop in the same position they are in at the moment. 4 red lights. When they go out, we will be racing over 18 laps. This 1,699 metre circuit, that is 30 kilometres. Average speeds on this super quick circuit of 94 kilometres an hour. A top speed on the back straight without a slipstream of 158 kilometres an hour. You can add 4 or 5 Ks an hour to that with a slipstream, which means they are genuinely touching more than 100 miles an hour. From zero, these karts roar into life. Fassberg and Cavalieri, the front row of the grid with the gold kart driver to start on pole position. On the second row of the grid, Fabian Federer alongside Marijn Kremers. Then it's Joel Johansson alongside Luca Corberi with that 5-second penalty. Alessio Piccini, son of the 4 times world champion Alessandro Piccini, starts out of 7 alongside Felici Tiene. Nicole Gonzal is alongside the fastest qualifier, the German in the CRG, Mike Sibecke. Stan Pex using Max Verstappen's very Alpine Stars race boots from his Toro Rosso F1 season currently. They are good friends, the 2 young Dutchmen. Paolo Besencenet starts alongside the intrepid driver. Pedro Hilbrand from France alongside, from Spain, alongside the Frenchman, Thomas Laurent. All the way to the back of the grid, there's Lorenzo Complesi. Just scraped into the final in the Formula K kart, but didn't finish that. He's got fresh LeConte tyres. He's on the back row of the grid, but watch out for the Formula K kart to come charging through the field. A few practice starts from these drivers. These are the last few corners. Cavaliere, he's stationary at the moment. Rockets up through the gears, first, second, very quickly cleaning the debris off the tyres. These are the practice starts. The tyres are up to temperature, as are the engines. The clutches as well. They're generally I should say, very reliable. These 125cc engines developing just under 50 horsepower. 4-wheel disc brakes, 6-speed gearbox. 0 to 100 k's an hour in just over 3 seconds. And as we mentioned, on this Sarno circuit, a top speed of 158 kilometres an hour. We are just moments away from the start of the opening race of the 2015 European Karting Championships from the Naples International Circuit at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. Cavaliere from Italy alongside the Dane Andreas Fassberg. That is the front row of the grid. We are set for a start over 18 laps. 4 red lights are on. Now they're out and we are racing. It is the Dane Andreas Fassberg who rockets into the lead. Cavalieri sits in second, but immediately he's coming under attack from the CRG pilot. Fabian Federer in third spot behind Cavalieri. Corberi's already up to 5th. We've lost, it looks like Paolo Besencenet is in there. Mazzoli in the Mad Croc kart also involved. Joel Johansson's going through in the Energy kart in 6th place. It is the Dane Andreas Fassberg from the pole sitter Alberto Cavalieri. Didn't get a bad start, but it wasn't as good as the Tony Kart pilot as they come up the back straight for the first time. Federer in the slipstream pulls out and has a look at the Italian under brakes. Cavalieri tries to fight back, but that's only lost him 3 places. Out in the grass goes the Tony Kart pilot. Giulio Hansen has been pushed back as well. It's absolutely chaotic on the opening laps of this race. Wow, Luca Corberi's been involved in a skirmish in about 18th position. So the driver who won the pre-final was given a 5-second penalty. So they come across the line. He's actually recovered a little bit. He's in 10th place. As we return to the leaders, Alberto Cavalieri's back in 4th spot. He'll be lucky to hold on to that unless he can get up through the gears and start to chase down Fabian Federer in front of him. Getting my CRG drivers confused a little bit there. Fantastic start by the German Mike Siebeck using the Modena-powered CRG. Wow, let's take a breath. Your leader from Denmark in the Tony Kart, Andreas Fasberg. Marijn Kremers, well, we spoke about him being a potential title favourite. He's in 2nd place, that's why. He's got speed and he's closing in on the Dane. Fabian Federer, European champion in this class in 2011. He's in the CRG in 3rd place. They come across the line to complete their 2nd lap here in Naples. Into turn 1. That's Federer in the CRG on screen. He'll be happy that the sun's shining because he confessed that he does not like the rain. But it's beautiful conditions here in Sarno. No chance of precipitation this afternoon as Kremers gets very close to the back of Fasberg. Will the Dutchman make a move up the inside? Indeed he does. He puts that Birol Art over the ripple strip. Fasberg concedes the spot. This is only the 3rd lap of the race. Still quite a way to go. 18 laps, 30 kilometres the distance. As they race up the back straight, reaching 128 k's an hour right there. Fasberg fights back. Federer watches on all the time. He's gaining on these leaders. Oh, this is sensational. Kremers again. Federer is going to get involved. Federer tries the outside. He is now up into 2nd spot. So we've got the Dutchman from the Italian. The Dane is now in position number 3. Cavalieri, who started from pole, is back in 7th position. They race down through turn 1, up through 140, 150, almost 160 k's an hour. Marijn Kremers from the Netherlands in the Birol Art from Eindhoven in Holland. He leads the race from Federer, Fasberg, Felicitieni, Mike Siebeck. That's him in the SRP Motorsport CRG. He's now up into position number 5. Fastest lap of the race for the Frenchman, Thomas Laurent. Down the back straight, there's Mike Siebeck chasing down the leaders. I'd suggest he's going to catch them very, very quickly. A little bit of dicing in the front 4, and the German will be right on their tail. Kremers, Federer, Fasberg, Felicitieni, who lives within walking distance of this world-famous Sarno circuit. Fasberg's closed up a little bit on the inside of Federer. As we look at a replay from a few moments ago, that was a very aggressive yet clean move from the Dutchman Kremers. Federer went with him. Fasberg had to concede the position. Up the back straight, like skeleton races on the downhill section at the Olympics. Head down behind the steering wheel. 100 miles an hour in the slipstream. That's not me exaggerating. That's not me guessing. That's directly from the Unipro GPS data telemetry systems that a lot of these karts are using here this weekend in Naples. Mike Siebeck closing in on Felicitieni. Tiene himself has just dropped off a little bit behind Fasberg. Wow, what a race we've got, and we're only a quarter of the way through. Back through the field, Giulio Hansen, who was fighting for the lead on the opening laps of the race. The Energy Kart pilot from Sweden is down in 18th. Fantastic start by Francesco Iacovacci in the Danilo Rossi kart. He's come from dead last on the grid to be in position number 16, behind the Energy Course pilot from the United Arab Emirates, Sean Babington. Cavalieri now continues to plunge down through the field. The driver of the gold kart is now fighting for 11th position with guess who? Luca Corberi, who won the pre-final, remember. The Italian is in position 10 behind the Frenchman, Paolo Besencenet. Kramer's now with a lead of 0.2 of a second over Federer. Fastberg still sits there in third spot. Up the back straight, 128 k's an hour right there before hard braking. Oh, big move up the inside, but he left it a little bit too late. Federer covered him nicely in the CRG kart. Federer using the Maxter engine. Kramer's the Perilla. Fastberg, no surprises. The Tony kart is powered by the Vortex. Cavalieri, who started on pole position, he's using the Modena engine. And speaking of Modena engines, that driver in 5th place, Mike Sibeke. He took Modena engine's first ever pole position on Friday afternoon in qualifying in the CRG. Fastberg on the inside of Federer. Federer blocks him, as he's entitled to do. He's leading the challenge, but all the time the Dutchman Martijn Kremers is starting to skip away. Up the inside, Fastberg is getting all over the back of the Italian. Mike Sibeki is closing all the time. He's 0.1 of a second behind the battle. You can see it on the screen. He's close enough to get the slipstream. Fastberg knows it. He pulls down the inside and takes back second place from Fabian Federer. Mike Sibeke, SRP Motorsport from Hanover in northern Germany, is now in 5th place as Federer fights there with Felice Tieni. It's CRG's 3rd, 4th and 5th, but it's the Birol Art leading the Tony kart. Kramer's across the line to start his 8th lap. They throw the karts sideways through turn number 1 at 140 kilometers an hour. Now it's 6th gear. It's the only part of the track where they do put the gearbox into the top ratio. 5th gear on the short back straight, 5th gear on the start-finish line straight. Tiene, Federer, Sibeke, the two Italians leading the German. As we mentioned, Felice Tiene lives within walking distance of this Sarno circuit. It's probably safer for him to race around this track than for him to walk home, though. I say that with tongue in cheek. The CRG pilot, Tiene, very, very experienced. One of the top kart racing drivers in the world. Been with CRG for quite a number of years now. Leading Federer, Sibeke. Well, the CRGs have been fantastic in the KZ2 category, not so much in the KZ class. All these drivers in the black karts, at least, the CRG Road Rebel chassis, 32mm tubing, as Fastberg gets very close to the back of Kramer's. We've got the yellow flag out because we've lost one of the gold karts. Maxim Martinyuk, the Russian, is also tumbling down the order. Indeed, it may well be our pole sitter. Alberto Cavalieri in the gold kart. I'm trying to find him on our screen. Two gold karts racing here, so we've got to change for the lead. It is Andreas Fastberg. The Dane takes the lead back from the Dutchman. Tiene still leads Federer and Sibeke. Felice Tiene in 3rd spot now. Close enough to get the slipstream of the Dutchman. Martijn Kremers just adjusts the blind on the radiator to let maximum airflow into the radiator. That's cooling that Perilla engine. Tiene's in the slipstream but can't make a move into turn number 2. Pedro Hilbrand from Spain, another of the CRG pilots. So we've got CRGs in 4th, 5th and 6th spot, but now we've got one up into 2nd place. Kremers has to concede. Pedro Hilbrand is now joining the fight. Andreas Fastberg skips away a little bit up the back straight. Pedro Hilbrand, the number 321 CRG, he's joining in this battle, now moves up to 5th spot, fighting with Fabian Federer. Kremers now, who led just a few laps ago, he's now in position number 3. Felicitiene in second spot. We have passed half race distance as Fasberg comes across the line. The gap last time round was 0.2 of a second. It's out to 0.5 of a second as Tiene and Kramers fight amongst themselves. Kramers is in the slipstream of the Italian. They lock up under brakes, going from 158 k's an hour down to 57 kilometres an hour in the space of just a few metres. Massive G-forces for these drivers at the Sarno circuit. Oh, we've got to change for third place. Kramers has lost out as Pedro Hiltbrand, the driver from Spain, who has set the fastest lap of the race, now takes third behind his CRG teammate, Felicitiene. This is a sensational race, the KZ2 final, the opening round of the 2015 European Championships from the Naples International Circuit at the foot of the volcano that is Mount Vesuvius in the background right there. Fasberg into the final corner. Remember the gap last time round was 0.5 of a second. Tiene in second spot. It's out to 0.6 of a second now. Mike Sibetke back in sixth spot behind Federers. Kramers is fourth. Paolo Besensene is in eighth spot, but the driver of the race so far, Federico Pezzola, he has made up 19 positions, coming from the back of the grid to be in position number 9. The PCR card is absolutely flying. He's set fastest lap of the race as Kramers is forced to defend from Federer. The Frenchman Thomas Laurent immediately matches that time. They're getting down to qualifying pace almost. 1 minute 4.7. Plenty of LeConte tyre rubber going down on this 1,699 metre circuit here in Naples. Andreas Fasberg is your leader for Tony Kart from Denmark. He comes across the line to start his 12th lap. There is only one Danish driver in the field, and the flag of Denmark is flying in the grandstand where they have just passed now. Head down behind the steering wheel. This is the fight for second and third. Up the inside, Pedro Hiltbrand from Spain now into second. Felicitiene in third spot now. Tries to fight back. Marijn Kramers, he's off the podium in the Birrell Art as it stands with 5.5 laps remaining. The gap from your leader, Fasberg, to Hiltbrand, 0.6 of a second now. With that move by the Spaniard, it may well be more as the Dane tries to skip away in the Tony Kart. CRG's in second, third, fifth and sixth. Mike Sibetke from Germany, the SRP Motorsport driver. He's made up 4 places, but he can't get into the top 5, let alone the podium. With just 5 laps to go now across the line. Alessio Piccini's in 7th spot, ahead of the Frenchman Paolo Besensene. Federico Pezzola, he's hit a wall, so to speak. I don't mean literally, but he's come from the back of the grid. He's made up 19 positions, but he's stuck in that psychological wall, at least, of position number 9. He can't improve. He can't catch the Frenchman, Paolo Besensene, ahead of him. Luca Corberi, 10th position. That's not what the Italian would have expected after dominating the heat races yesterday. The gap from this man, your leader, Andreas Fasberg, to the Spaniard, Pedro Hiltbrand, is now 0.8 of a second. You can see the Dane working the steering wheel, grabs another gear up through the infield section. Hard braking into the final corner of the track. Drops down a gear, now up into 5th gear, 140 kilometres an hour right there. Washes off 20 k's an hour through turn 1. Then it's a flat out sprint in 6th gear. These remarkable speeds here at the Sarno circuit. We have not gone this fast in European karting since the European Championship visited the famous Carole circuit on the outskirts of Paris. Back in the day, the Formula C karts were touching 186 kilometres an hour in that 2,000 metre circuit right next to Charles de Gaulle Airport. The Euro Series doesn't visit there anymore, but this track is equally impressive and it's still super, super quick. Fastberg slams that Vortex gearbox down a few gears. Petro Hilbrand is catching him. The gap is now down to 0.4 of a second. Felicitieni sits in third spot. Marijn Kremers is stuck in fourth. Paolo Besencenet from France in the Tony Kart. He's driving nicely. He's in 8th position behind the other green machine of Alessio Piccini on screen right now. That's Federico Pezzola in the black and yellow PCR kart. Then we go back to Corberi. Sean Babington, he's made up 8th places. Well, the driver from the United Arab Emirates, used to racing on tracks covered with sand. The Sano track is coated with LeConte rubber here this weekend. Super grippy. The sunshine is aiding to the grip level here. Still 0.4 of a second from your leader, Andreas Fastberg from Denmark. Hilbrand is catching him though. Up into 5th gear, hard braking down through the paddock hairpin. Denmark is a country with strong history in world motorsport. We haven't had a Danish world champion in karting since Jan Magnussen won the world title way back in 1990 at Jesolo. But Andreas Fastberg is on track to take a European Championship win here this afternoon if he can hang on for another 2.5 laps. Pezzola comes through. That's Luca Corberi. Behind him was Sean Babington flashing through briefly. Luca Tilocca ahead of Tom Lorkowski. Unfortunately, we've lost our pole sitter while all this was going on. Bad luck for Alberto Cavalieri. He is a retirement, but he's made a lot of people stand up and take notice of his performance in the pre-final in that Gold Kart GTR 30 chassis. Fantastic speed. We'll see him in Spain for the second round of the series. Meanwhile, the gap's gone out to 0.5 of a second. Fastberg locks up everything under brakes into the hairpin. Well, the race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, is readying the last lap board on the start-finish line. There is just 1.7 kilometres to go. The gap is half a second from the Dane to the Spaniard. The Danish flags are flying in the grandstand. The last lap board is out. Can he do it? Can he hang on? Marijn Kremers is back in 5th spot. The Dutchman is off the podium. Pedro Hilbrand can't get the slipstream of the Dane. It's going to be a Tony Kart on the top step of the podium with half a lap to go. The CRGs are fighting. They are in 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. Maxi Becke from Germany in 6th spot. He's lost a little bit of gap from Marijn Kremers. Up the back straight for the final time for Andreas Fastberg. Can he do it? Pedro Hilbrand from Spain is not close enough. Probably the final passing opportunity of the race, but he's too far back. The Danish fans are absolutely ecstatic in the grandstand. One more corner to go. The checkered flag is being readied for the driver from Denmark. The winner of the opening round of the Euro Series, Andreas Fastberg. He wins it from Pedro Hilbrand. The local boy, Felicitieni, comes home in 3rd position. Wow, Fabian Federer, one step off the podium for the Italian. He's 4th ahead of Marijn Kremers, Maxi Becke, Alessio Piccini, Paolo Besencenet. Marijn Kremers, valuable points though. That's your winner, number 356, the Tony Kart driver from outside Denmark. Outside Copenhagen, I should say, in Denmark. He's absolutely thrilled. The Tony Kart team, they're beside themselves, as are we here at the foot of that 1,300-metre volcano in the background. The action did erupt. Yeah, you'll forgive the cliche, but that was a sensational race. The KZ2 final, the opening round of the European Championships. Your winner from Denmark, Andreas Fastberg. Pedro Hilbrand was 2nd, ahead of his CRG teammate Felicitieni. Look at the CRG, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Marijn Kremers, valuable points for the championship in 5th. ahead of Mike Sibecche, Alessio Piccini, Paolo Besensene, Federico Pezzola. What a drive. He made up 20 positions to come home in 9th ahead of Luca Corbere. Well, the drivers are making their way back into Parc Fermé. Only one Danish driver racing here this weekend. And guess what? He won. The Danish flag is flying in the grandstand. It will fly on the top step of the podium, which is where we're about to head in just a few moments' time for the official presentations. This is the opening round of the European Karting Championships, brought to you by la Commission Internazionale di Karting, the CIK, in association with WSK Promotion. What a fantastic start to this, the 2015 three-round series. From here we will go to Zuera in Spain before concluding in Genk, Denmark. This was the start of the race. Alberto Cavalieri, he led for about 3 centimetres off the line, but from there his race went backwards. Eventually he would not finish. Fasberg started on the outside of the front row of the grid. That's Cavalieri already dropping back through the field. Coming to grief from there, Felice Tiene, that's Mike Sibecchi. Sibecchi started out at grid number 10. Marijn Kremers in the Birrell Art. He led with some sensational passing moves. Felice Tiene, Fabian Federer got involved. This was fantastic racing. Absolutely brilliant. The Dutchman took it back. He actually established a little bit of a lead. This is when Fabian Federer moved up into second spot in the CRG. We thought the Dutchman, Marijn Kremers, would take the win for the Birrell Art team. But eventually he was overhauled by Andreas Fasberg, who first had to overcome second placed Fabian Federer. He did that, then set about chasing the leader. This was the move for the lead of the race. This is what won him the opening round of the championship. Under brakes, textbook move into the hairpin. Marijn Kremers would fall back to finish in 5th spot off the podium. Still valuable points for his championship, as we mentioned. Andreas Fasberg from this point on ran away from the field. There were CRGs left, right and centre. They would finish 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 6th, but it was a Tony Kart victory. The driver from Denmark, Andreas Fasberg. Well, we're just about set for our podium presentation in just a few moments' time. Stay with us. This is the opening round of the European Championships from the Naples International Circuit. The podium presentations coming your way in just a few moments. Well, we're about to get underway with the podium presentation. What a race that was, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear a huge round of applause for our podium place getters. We're going to call to the third step of the podium, the local boy, Felicitiene! In second place, what a drive, the driver from Spain, Pedro Hilbrand. Only one driver from Denmark here this weekend. We've got the Danish flag in the grandstand. Let's hear it for our winner for Tony Kart, Andreas Fasberg. We'll now stand by for the national anthem of Denmark. This is the podium for the KZ2, the opening round of the European Championship. In third place, Felicitiene. In second place, from Spain, Pedro Hilbrand. The winning manufacturer representing Tony Kart, Alberto Villino. Presenting the trophy, Mr. Beppe Sorrentino, now presenting the manufacturer's trophy to Alberto Villino. Drivers now to be presented with the beautiful Napolitano flowers. We'll just move in here for a quick interview with our third place driver. Not a bad start to the European Championships. Third place, Felicitiene.
Yeah, it's been a really good week. We start really good in qualifying, and then after had some problem in the heat, but we know the speed was there, so we just push full throttle in the final and we got third place, which is not bad for a championship.
Well done, que bravo, Felicitiene. In second spot, what a drive from back in the grid from Spain. Que bravissimo. You've done really well, Pedro Hilbrand.
Thank you. It's been a difficult weekend, but finally in the final I got a really good chassis and engine. So I want to congratulate on my team CIK, and it's been a fantastic race. I enjoy a lot. Thank you.
Well done, Petro, and our winner. Only one driver here this weekend from Denmark. We've got the Danish flag in the grandstand. Andreas Fasberg, what a start to the 2015 season.
Yeah, really good start of the season. Come here with the win, a second in the pre-final and win the final. I think it's an okay start for the championship.
A big representation of Danish drivers in 2015. They're all watching you on CIK-FIA.TV live. A lot of fans back home in Denmark to thank.
Yeah, I wanted to thank, first of all, Tony Kart Racing Team, Giacomo, Villino, and all the other guys, my mechanic, Nazareno, my normal boss, Joachim Ward, and my whole family.
Well done, Andreas Fasberg. Our podium.